So, Exeter Chiefs versus Leicester Tigers. Premiership rugby returns, round 9 of the Premiership. Can we make it 6 from 6? It's going to be a really tough test. It's going to be really tough to get that 6th win on the bounce, but you never know with this team at the moment. We've got some momentum, obviously playing some good rugby, a lot of confidence in the group, a lot of momentum. I think everyone buying into McKellar's ways, and a good squad. Yeah, things are looking good at the moment. But yeah, as I said, it's going to be a really tough place to get a win. Sandy Park, was it their 22 matches unbeaten now, Exeter at home? I think we've only won there 5 times, is it, in 14 games. It's a place we've had some horrible losses as well. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. But what an occasion. Another great occasion to hopefully get that win. But onto the teams. So Tigers team, I think we're expecting a few changes as we rotated quite a bit last week. Gone for the gun 15 as such this week. So backline, Stewart, Watson, Kelly, Catter, Bassett, Pollard, Youngs. Obviously Stewart, Bassett, Pollard, Youngs coming in from last week. Watson making his first Premiership game of the season for Tigers. But yeah, it's as strong as we can put out really at the moment. Obviously a shame that Hassel-Collins has picked up a knock, but Bassett has been very good, had a really good game against Stormers. Watson again made his first Tigers appearance of the season last week. Obviously a bit rusty, but showed a few moments of how classy he is. I'm sure after the 80 minutes he'll be back and firing this tomorrow afternoon. And Pollard's just been on unbelievable form recently. I think he could be a big difference in the outcome of the game tomorrow. Into the pack, Whitcomb, Montoya, Cole, Martin, Wells, Chesham, Ilioni, Visa. I think the key one there is seeing Emeka Ilioni making his first Prem start. Obviously presume that Reffel has picked up a knock, but Ilioni, he was really, really good off the bench against Stad last week. Deserves this start, deserves this opportunity to show what he's got in the gun 15. Yeah, going to be great to see him. Chesham moving back to 6. I think he hasn't played there in about a year, but that's kind of how he started as a 6/second row. It's good to be able to fit him, Martin and Wells into that pack. Obviously Wells was absolutely brilliant last week off the bench, really deserves this start. Good to see Whitcomb as well given a start. Has been quite limited with those come this season, but yeah, it's a very, very tasty pack. Onto the bench, Theobald Thomas, Van Veek, Hayes, Cracknell, Hatherall, Whiteley, Shilcock and Brown. Yeah, having Cracknell and Hatherall off the bench in the second half is going to be dangerous, lethal. Them two just bring so much intensity off the bench. Obviously Cracknell, haven't seen him for a while. I think maybe the Saracens game he picked up a knock. Theobald Thomas given another opportunity, probably shows that maybe Vane's picked up a knock as well last week. We're struggling a bit in that department. Dolly and Claire obviously out at the moment, but yeah, going to be great to see the likes of Van Veek, Hayes come off the bench, bring their impetus into the game. It's a very strong bench, isn't it? It's a very strong 23. I know we've picked up a few injuries, but it shows the strength of the squad at the moment that we can have these injuries and yet put out a team as strong as that. Yeah, it's a very, very strong team on paper. Onto Exeter, being the surprise package of the season so far, aren't they? Yeah, who would have thought they'd have picked up the wins they have, but they've gone for a team of Wyatt, O'Loughlin, Slade, Devoto, Hammersley, Skinner, Cairns. Tom Wyatt has been almost breakthrough player of the season, maybe. He's just been absolutely brilliant. Such an attacking threat. I think he's made the most meters, ball in hand in the Premiership, beat the most offenders in the Premiership. He's been brilliant. We've got to really try and keep him as quiet as possible. And Henry Sade has potentially been the best player of the season. He's just, obviously they've lost a lot of players over the summer, and he's just really, really stepped up, took over the kicking duty, scored the most points in the season so far. Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant, and Devoto's a really strong attacking 12. Obviously has really struggled with injuries as of late, but it's going to be important to try and keep him quiet. But yeah, it's an exciting, speedy back line. Onto the pack: Co, Yendall, Painter, Jenkins, Pearson, Roots for Marlon, and Fissalau. Yeah, where do you start with that? I think Roots has been another one who's been a brilliant signing for them. Hadn't really heard of him before the start of the season, but signed from Ospreys. Yeah, he's just a really out and out all round six, tackles for fun. Aaron Painter's just come alive for Exeter, obviously formerly of Northampton. I think he's bagged a couple of tries. It's just seems to fit into the Exeter style of play really well. Jenkins, obviously a really, really exciting young second row. Just a brilliant player. Fislau, another one, young. Has just had a really good season so far. Yeah, it's a very solid Exeter 15. Onto the bench: Frost, Abeladze, Yousefa Scott, Tumua, Vincent, Townsend, Hawkins, and Wimbush. Again, some really good players to bring off the bench. Frost is really good hooker, similar style hooker to Thacker. Yousefa Scott, another just big prop that they've got in their ranks. Tuima has had a really good season so far. Hawkins obviously has ditched Welsh duty for now, and he's been another really good player for Exeter. Yeah, they've just been brilliant so far this season, especially at home. I think they've had a few tough losses, but to beat Munster last week in the way they did, to come back how they did in the second half, and obviously got that late win against Toulon the week before away from home. They've just been the complete surprise package. I think a lot of us had put them in our predictions at the start of the season quite near the bottom of the league. Because of how many players they lost, and a lot of really big names as well. There's not got many big names left, but these youngsters who've come through the academy, they've signed really well over the off-season, and they've scored just bags of tries. I think they've scored the most tries out of everyone in the Premiership so far this season. They play some really good rugby, and they've got a really gnarly big pack who are solid in the set piece as well. It's an all-round very good team. But I say that as someone who I do think that actually man for man, on paper, I think we look stronger across the board. I think we really do. I think if you go through the lineup, maybe give them one or two players. Apart from that, I think we just have the stronger team on paper, and we're in some form. It is going to be a really, really tough place to get any sort of result. But my prediction, I'm going for a Tigers win by 3. I think, again, similar to was it the Gloucester game or even other games, that I think the halfbacks, the 10 and 9, will make a really big difference for us. I think having Pollard, obviously anyone who has Pollard in their team is going to be much better for it, but him against Skinner, Pollard is night and day. Young's against Cairns. I know Cairns is a good young scrum half, but Youngs gets that every single time. I just think that can be really, really important. I'm sure we're going to go for the kick-heavy game again, try and keep pinning them back, give them nothing to run at. And I think we will just nick it. It'll be a brilliant victory. It's going to be really tough, but I think we'll do it. I think we'll get our fifth or sixth win down at Sandy Park. Time will tell. It's going to be tough, but I completely back the boys. Got some good momentum. Players playing really well. Likes having Martin back. It's huge. Bring it on. It's going to be my first long journey down to Sandy Park tomorrow. It's a long, long way, so hopefully it's going to be a good journey. It's going to be a sellout. Obviously brilliant for them. Hopefully it's going to be a really good atmosphere. Hopefully it's going to be quite a few Tigers fans making the trip down, especially being close to Christmas, everyone off work. Bring it on, eh? Bring it on.